Hello YouTube, it's your girl Nene, and I'm back with Baddies East reunion part 2. Of course, there's a part 3. I knew we were gonna get one, but nevertheless, Baddies East is finished. That means I do need another show to cover. I already decided on covering Real Housewives of Potomac season 8 because I do personally love that franchise, but I do still want to open the floor to you guys and ask you what you think I should cover next. And even if there's like a documentary or docuseries that you want me to cover, I am also open to that too. I think it is time for the channel to branch out to other shows on different networks and different streaming platforms. So basically, I'm down for whatever you guys, just let me know what you want. So with that out of the way, we can begin our review of Baddies East reunion part 2. If you guys remember, we left off after the Tasiki versus Scarface fight in part 1, and everybody somehow landed in that pile of bodies in the middle of the stage. So security is breaking everybody up, and then we get this moment where T runs into the arm of the security guard that is holding Camilla because Camilla was just like, let me go, let me go, let me go. And poor security guy, he just was confused by the whole thing. He just stood there holding T. Like, I guess as long as I'm holding somebody, I'm doing my job, right? But they have so many new security guards during this reunion. Maybe it's not their first day, but it's definitely their first show. Both Scarface and Tasiki have gotten their clothes ripped off. We can see Mariah here handing Tasiki her sweatshirt to put on. Next, we have Scotty yelling at my man Chris, the security guard, because like I have been telling you guys, security be yoking up Scotty for no reason. I really do believe that security gets special instruction to not let Scotty get involved with the fights and be in harm's way. Now, they do let Scotty fight, but it just seems like Scotty has to be pre-approved to fight, because when she's not fighting, it's like security does not let her breathe. And just look at the back of my man's Chris's shirt. There's a few security guards that have custom made shirts, like the other security guard who had that dumbass big ass QR code on his shoulder. But my man Chris made sure to get his face every single show that he has been security on. Next, we get round 2 of Scarface and Tasiki now that everybody has new clothes on. And I just want to take a second to call out the idiot who decided it was a good idea to put rug on top of carpet on a production set where people are going to fight, because that is ultimately what made Scarface trip and fall during her fight. And even security was worried because security made sure to grab Scarface before Tasiki could even land a punch on her on the floor, which I'm glad he did, because Tasiki would have not shown any mercy. Y'all saying that Scarface now looks like Jigsaw, but she would have ended up looking like the airhead balloon had Tasiki gotten Scarface on the floor. The next fight we get, and mind you, I'm not covering all the fights that I don't think were that important, but the next fight I'm talking about is when Rolly beat up Camilla. Surprise, surprise. I expected Camilla to do better with all that shit that Camilla was talking about on Twitter. And when we talk about Rolly's performance here in this fight, this is actually one of the first times we didn't see Rolly throw her weight. She only threw punches, but it wasn't until Camilla tried to drag Rolly down to the floor with her that is when Camilla got crushed by Rolly's weight on top of her. And my girl really did not come to play this reunion. She is really beating bitches' asses, and I love that for her. I'm really proud of Rolly. Next, the camera pans over to Biggie and Scotty just right after Biggie spit on Scotty. And T is the second disappointment of the night, because how are you gonna sneak Scotty when she arguing with Biggie? Let Scotty punch you in your face and you turn around and run away. Like, how did you fight better while you were sick versus now when you're not on any Benadryl? House B is really taking an L right now. So meanwhile, T is running away from Scotty. We get the drone cam, not the drone cam. They got the drone cam of Tasiki versus Scarface, round 3, and Scarface gets done up again by Tasiki. There's no question about it. I just don't understand why she keeps trying to fight this girl knowing she's losing every single round. At this point, it kind of reminds me of when Scotty kept trying to fight Anna their first time meeting, because somehow they think that if we keep going round for round, maybe I'll win one. And I'm not gonna lie, Scarface did give Tasiki a bloodied lip, but besides that and messing up Mariah's shirt, you ain't really do anything else. Wow, Tasiki, yeah, she blew your face up. So after this moment, it's here when the production starts to like fall a little bit. Everybody's scrambled all over the place. They're having a really hard time getting control of the girls. We even have this producer. He likes to yell at people and always be in front of the camera. I think my man Chris called him OJ when he was yelling at Chris to get the security guards in control of their girls. But yeah, he's very problematic. I don't like the way he be screaming at the girls. The girls be screaming at him back. Obviously, they don't respect him. Obviously, he's not good at his job. So yeah, I just wanted to shit on him a little bit. And now that I know his name, I can actually call him out now. Moving on to Scarface trying to sneak Mariah. Now, what is the beef that Scarface has with Mariah? I didn't really get this. And Mariah is even telling us that she gave her clothes to Scarface to wear, which is what I had suspected. If you remember that time that Scarface went to the club with that Dora the Explorer outfit on, and I said, no, those clothes are way too small for her. Those have to be Mariah's. And Scarface is not going out to the malls and buying skirts. Like, let's be real. I believe she took clothes from different girls and paired it together in that atrocity because she has no style, no fashion, and no money to buy clothes, apparently. So I don't know how you can turn on somebody who gave you clothes when they're not your mother. They didn't have to do that. I think at this point, Scarface is just mad and she just wants to fight everybody and swing on everybody because she knows she's not coming back. Next, we have Camilla throwing water at Rolly. And this is how you know Camilla knows herself that she lost her fight with Rolly because she's still mad. But she does end up leaving to go take care of her kids, which I guess thank you for showing up. I mean, if that's all you gave at the reunion, you didn't really have to show up. But anyways, we are moving on to Biggie. She fell to the floor and rolled on security's leg. This was after Rolly had said that Biggie wanted to eat her out during Baddies West. Now, I don't believe Rolly for a second. I know these are the same allegations that Biggie threw against you, and you fell dead quiet when she said that, obviously looking guilty. So I definitely believe Biggie here when she says that you have 4 different smells. And I don't know how she was telling that to Nene, and Nene kept a straight face because I would have been rolling on the floor just like Biggie here. Now, did you guys also peep how Rolly called Anna's coochie sick in front of Janisha, knowing the allegations that's going on? I think this would have been Janisha's perfect moment to go run up on Anna. But again, like I said before, Janisha is just so hard to read. It's just so hard to know how she's feeling because she doesn't give anything in her face or her body language. This next scene that I'm going to talk about, you can tell that we weren't really supposed to get this scene because I think that the production at this point thought that they were just going to take a break while some of the girls left the stage and went to go change. And you can tell because we still get a lot of production crew like walking in front of the camera back and forth, and they're also talking like really loud in the background. So it's not until Natalie starts breaking down the situation between her and E.T. that somebody yells, "Quiet on set," and that's when, you know, it finally clicked, like, maybe we need to actually get this moment. So yeah, this is why, you know, sometimes I'll be saying how a little stupid they are over there on the production team of Zeus Network, but I digress. So we find out E.T. was mad at Natalie for hanging out with the girls on the East Coast, going to basketball games, going shopping, doing whatever, which is, when we think about it, okay, Scarface, yes, she's very poor. So if Natalie is out buying the girls shoes and clothes and whatever, I feel like Scarface feels that, you know, she could really use that more than some of the other girls. But what I don't understand is that if Natalie is out on the East Coast, either you find out a way to get to the East Coast, pay for your own plane ticket, Scarface, because I really feel like she was expecting Natalie to pay for her flight to the East Coast for what? Just to go see a basketball game? Like, I'm not really following the logic here, and I know it just seems like Scarface just wants to be, she's a grown-ass woman, but she wants to be babied and taken care of, which I get your man doing that for you, but why would Natalie do that for you? And we know she can't afford a plane ticket because this was the same lady online begging for donations for food and Uber Eats after her surgery. And I gagged when Natalie said that she was going to take the cost of her scuffed Chanel boots out of Scarface's paycheck because, you know, that's like damn near the whole check. She is clearly not getting paid that much to get on the show. But Natalie, you also know that, first of all, you have to go through accounting to do that, and you have to provide the receipts for your shoes that you know are not $5,000. Like, stop playing with me. Next, we finally get the moment that I have been waiting for, which is for anybody, I don't care who it was, for anybody to call out Natalie for all of the bias and the favoritism and just all the bullshit that she was doing this season. But as it turns out, Biggie is the one to do it, which, you know, I guess she's the one that has most of the right to do this, because Natalie has been making fun of Biggie ever since she got on the show as a quote-unquote replacement. I already believe Biggie is not a replacement. She's been there the whole time secretly, but Natalie calling her Sydney 2.0 when y'all know that you let Biggie perform at the club, but you cut that scene out. Biggie also tells us that Scarface told her it was Natalie who told Scarface to throw Biggie's things over, well, she didn't throw them, but, you know, to try to throw Biggie's things out, which I 100% believe, because that whole scene just felt produced, especially when, Natalie, you were at the bottom of the staircase, not only in the way of Biggie's suitcase that Scarface was about to throw, but you were there laughing. That shit was funny to you when you know that if somebody were to touch your things, you would be mad. And to make matters worse, you're giving this girl who has never been on this network before, and you just met prior to filming, and auditioned to be on the show twice, and you told her no every single time. It doesn't make sense for her to be on the private jets with you guys, or staying in house A when house A was typically the better house, like the physical house was better built than house B, when you've known Biggie longer and you're actually doing business with her outside of the show. And Biggie has been at least my favorite since Baddies West. So basically everything Biggie said here was valid. I know that you guys are just like, Biggie, oh my God, shut up, calm down, da da da. That's just Dominicans, you guys. We're just emotional, passionate people. So, you know, I'm used to this. She didn't really bother me this scene. And props out to Janisha as well. Before I forget, props to Janisha for actually calling out Natalie too, vouching for Biggie. Let me tell you, Janisha has not shown this much personality at all at any of these reunions as she is doing this reunion. I really feel like there's a whole other side to Janisha that we still have to figure out. You know, I would just love to see that on the shows more. So what I'm trying to say is that Janisha needs more camera time. Next, we get Rolly trying to get to the bottom of who told Scarface that Natalie was going to set her up. And Scarface says, oh, it was Scotty's stylist who told me that, which I was really expecting her to say somebody from production, because then it would be a little bit more believable, but he's just a stylist. He doesn't really know the ins and outs of what's happening. Besides that, I really don't even feel like he even told Scarface that, because just if you just look at his response to when Rolly asked him, he was just like, E.T. I don't even talk to that girl. Plus, it's the fact that Scarface is even refusing to come out of her trailer to talk to Rolly and the stylist. That is just a dead giveaway that she's lying. She made up the whole situation, and I don't know, I always find people who are willing to lie on somebody and willing to make up this whole story just people that you just need to stay away from. So at the end of the day, I don't really feel bad for Scarface that Rolly decided to end their friendship and, you know, just put her job and herself before being Scarface's friend, because eventually Scarface would have tanked her career, well, like she already has, but also Rolly's career too. Now it is a little weird that Rolly still came out on the stage blaming Scotty's stylist for E.T. sneaking Natalie like that, but we're gonna give Rolly some grace because she's still piecing the puzzles together, and I guess at this moment she still wanted to be Scarface's friend, but sometimes you need some more time to reflect and realize that this is not somebody that you want to be friends with. Now, by the time that Rolly goes back to the stage, the girls are still talking about the bad treatment that Biggie got this season and how Biggie felt like she still should have been in House A, which of course, obviously, yeah, I agree. And you can even see Scotty nodding her head in agreement, yes, which is respectable because, you know, they just got into a little scuffle. And here Nene says that it's production that assigns the girls, not necessarily Natalie. Natalie doesn't have much power, which I get that Nene is defending Natalie, but is it me, or was Nene like still defending Natalie but still being a little shady towards Natalie as well? Because it just kind of sounded like Nene was saying, Natalie don't got no power, Natalie don't run shit here, Natalie don't even call the shots, she just works here. Moving on to Janisha calling Suki, Sapphire, Smiley, and DJ Sky to the stage. And I even forgot DJ Sky was on the show. I don't even know she was invited to the reunion. But she does look good. I will give her props. Sapphire doesn't give Rolly a hug, which I get it because Sapphire was probably worried that Mariah was going to sneak her from behind while she's hugging Rolly, because Mariah's already standing up here. She's already on guard. But that's for Smiley. That's not for Sapphire. Sapphire swears she's important. And last time I checked, you started the fight between you and Mariah. Speaking of Mariah, Suki, that girl she did not want to fight you. She did not want to sneak you. I refuse to believe that. And if you're relying on Rolly to be your source of information, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. What is clear is that Mariah did say if she had fought Suki, she would have needed more money. But for you guys to accuse Mariah to flat out say, I want to fight her, when there's no real beef between Mariah and Suki. Like, yeah, Mariah does talk about people behind their backs. And yeah, Suki was kind of picking on Mariah a little bit towards the end. It just seemed like simply y'all two ignoring each other would have solved the issue. Now, what I do find weird about Mariah is that she says she takes issue with the way Suki was hyping her up when she was fighting Smiley. You know, when Sukiana was saying, go get your chain, go get your chain, because you did swing on Smiley first. And ever since you got on the show, you've been talking about getting your chain back. So I don't get why Mariah said that she was uncomfortable, because you were talking big game, especially during your confessionals, that you were gonna do these things anyway. Now Smiley comes out. I love how all the girls can agree that Smiley is not a bad person. She just has attention-seeking ways. And I agree, she is a little Munchausen, which is not necessarily a disability. It's just the girl just has behavioral problems. That's literally it. And on top of that, she's not confrontational. Exactly. I think that's the problem that I have with Smiley. She's very pussy after starting some shit. So that's why I don't want her back on the show. But Smiley's here at the reunion to get her chain back from Mariah. I mean, it's Victoria that has your chain, not Mariah. So obviously you're not gonna get it back right here in this reunion right now. But breaking news, Mariah did end up giving Smiley back her chain recently on Instagram. So congratulations to the girls. I guess you wasted our whole season fighting about this chain to only give it back. I don't know. But anyways, the episode ends here with Mariah and Smiley fighting, and then we get another pile of bodies on top of these girls trying to break up the fight. As far as the previews is just Scarface going different rounds with different girls. Plus Smiley hurts her hand even more because at this point I think she just likes pain and likes to get attention for the pain that she's in. There's nothing really about the previews to talk about. So I will just see you in part 3. From the previews, it doesn't look like part 3 is going to be as good as part 1 and part 2. So yeah, if I just look bored in my next video, that's why. So I'll see you over there and take care until then. Bye.